So here we are again. So when it comes to the how-to of recovery, let me say that the most important thing you can do as a believer now, as a Christian now, is prayer. Now, I know that I might be sending you to the noise channel, meaning that when you turn to God in prayer, that there's a lot of junk going on. And I understand that because there's always a lot of junk going on with me. In fact, recently I've talked to brothers about meditation because there's so much music in my head, images, stories, talking, it's just a noise box. And I need to clear that out before I even get to prayer. Now, what I've learned is that I can put on a sleep mask and plug my ears with wax and be able to calm myself and also kind of get rid of some of the noise. But that's only beneficial up to a point. I'd say that my mind is still undisciplined. And when it comes to prayer, what I'm finding, at least in this time, is that up to a point, I do need to take the mask off and unplug my ears and pray, actually pray to God. Because it seems like the moment I actually start to pray and concentrate on God and pray to Him and speak to Him, this thing keeps blacking out. Um, uh, that's when the real communication happens. That's when whatever prayer is starts to happen, is when I actually, you know. But prayer is the most important because there's nothing between you and God. Now, for an ex-member or for someone who's damaged, there's a lot of stuff in between you and God. Only God can remove those things. By you asking, by you letting those go, releasing them, some use that language, releasing them to God, but it really is a matter of you speaking it, putting it right out there in front. Here's what I'm thinking right now. Even more importantly, let's even go back a little bit before that. Before you get rid of the junk between you and God, your possible junk could be directed at God, anger at God, angry that He allowed Cobu to happen to you, or that He didn't stop you from getting in there. So there's that. I'd forgotten that was one of, that was a couple of years for me of just being angry at God for allowing that to happen, allowing Stuart to exist, and what he did to me. So I've often told this story that some of my best prayer is when I'm angry, and reason being is that I'm honest. I'm going to God with everything. I'm not being religious. I'm not holding inside things that I'm actually thinking and feeling. And what I learned is God's strong enough to take my anger and to take my emotion and my wrong thoughts, everything. And so I think it is very healthy that if you're in your stage in your Christian life where you haven't really directly gone to God and said, you know what, I'm angry at you, and here's why, and just really just cut loose. Because the truth is that God is stronger than your anger. He's not going away. His love is constant. And so that is tremendously important. That you can't hurt God, as far as you can't say and do enough that all of a sudden He goes, okay, that's it, I'm done with you. He's not like that. Let me just make sure this thing keeps rolling. Okay, good. Um, so in prayer, and again, I think this is the essential to your healing. It's you and God. It is you honestly with Him. It is you saying what's really going on with you, putting it all out there. You'll find that the whole scripture, if you walk in the light as He is in the light, you have fellowship with one another. If you are truly, truly honest with Him and honest about yourself, and again, we got sort of a pseudo version of that in Cobu where we exposed ourselves to hundreds of people at a time with our innermost thoughts and feelings, and we got chopped up publicly. There is a reticence on ex-members' parts to be honest and open with God because we're afraid He's going to hurt us, because we opened ourselves up in Cobu and we got hurt. And all I can say is I've been very, very open with God. I've put it all out there, all of it, and He hasn't left me. He hasn't stopped loving me. And so the most crucial thing in your healing is your time with Him. You start from there. Let me cut and I'll go to another part.